We all know that Oprah likes to be in control and have things the way she wants it to be, so from NDAs to giving up your personal life, here's our list of extreme rules Oprah demands from her staff. Now, one thing that was emphasized was that Oprah's show came before everything else, including her employees' families. When Oprah launched the OWN network, the first show she premiered was season 25, Oprah Behind the Scenes. Now, in that episode, she asked women that worked for her to speak about their experiences, and they did not hold back. Now, a large portion of the women who worked for Oprah had their own families, and they spoke about how they had to make certain sacrifices in their personal lives for the success of the show. They talked about the challenges they faced as working moms, and one of them was quoted as saying, "I had to be okay with making sacrifices for work. I hope I inspire that passion in my children." Now, Oprah thanked them for working long hours and sacrificing their personal lives, but made it clear that it was necessary and par for the course. I mean, yes, it is important to be dedicated to your work, but not having the balance of being able to be with your family just seems way too extreme. I mean, you'd think with Oprah being worth so much money, she'd be able to hire as many people as she needed and not leave people overworked or missing important events in their lives. Now, to be honest, I really hate that rule. Now, this was just reaffirmed by Libby Moore, who spent 11 years working as Oprah's chief of staff. "I hit the job jackpot," she told Women's Agenda from her New York base. "It was like winning a grand slam. It was extraordinary, and even now, 5.5 years after leaving, it's actually hard to articulate because it was so massive," she said. Now, to say that the job was consuming was a vast understatement. An average day saw Libby arrive for work between 6:30 and 7 a.m. and leave between 10 to 11 p.m. Now, the show was syndicated to 144 countries, and the demands were constant. Libby would routinely reply to 250 emails while watching the taping of the talk show, and that was just 1 hour of her 15-hour day. "I got to take care of her so that she could do what she did best. It was my pleasure to support her in that way," Libby explained. As far as pressure goes, the highs were super high and the lows were super low. Not because of Oprah, because of everything else swirling around that level of power, money, and fame. "I wasn't very good at balancing my life. As amazing as the job was and the friendship that Oprah and I had, my personal life was really suffering. I had 3 long-term relationships while I was in that job," she says. "I could not continue any longer in the position. I needed to take a leap of faith and see where I would land." Wow, that is very intense. Then there's also the fact that Oprah makes everyone sign NDAs. Now, this isn't too surprising, but most NDAs are for a limited time. Hers though, well, her staff must sign lifetime agreements. In the year 2000, Oprah defended the restrictive gag order for employees, saying, "I have to function in an environment where I feel I could trust my employees." Now, honestly, this just feels extreme, but it seems like they take this quite seriously, as Elizabeth Cody, a former producer for Harpo Productions, wanted to write a tell-all book about her experiences, but she was unable to. Now, the whole thing went through court, but Oprah had a strong team. Now, in addition to having NDAs that keep her safe, she also has the best security team. Oprah once hired Michael J. White to her security team before he went on to become the first black actor to play a superhero. White is trained in Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, and numerous other martial arts. Now, it seems like Oprah really puts an emphasis on safety, physical, and intellectual. Something else is that you need to be prepared to deal with controversies and the potential there could be lawsuits and you might be called in to testify. Or the fact that a case could completely throw your life for a loop. You see, in the spring of 1996, according to CBS News, the United Kingdom experienced an outbreak of mad cow disease. Per the FDA, the disease destroys cows' central nervous system, and if humans eat infected beef, they can contact a deadly variant. Now, during the mad cow scare, the Oprah Winfrey Show booked Howard Lehman, and the former cattle rancher had adopted a vegetarian lifestyle and went to work for the Humane Society's Eating with Conscious Animal Welfare campaign, and he appeared on the show to discuss the threat of mad cow to Americans. Now, he pointed out that feeding the remains of mad cow infected cattle to other animals could have facilitated the spread, and that such practices were common in the US. Now, Oprah was left stunned by this. Now, with Oprah's influence, right after the episode episode aired, beef prices plummeted for almost 2 weeks, hitting a 10-year low. Now, as a result, a group of Texas cattle ranchers sued Oprah for $10.3 million, alleging that her remarks caused undue harm to the entire beef industry. Now, one Texas rancher, Paul Engler, lost an estimated $6.7 million and organized a class action libel lawsuit against Oprah and her show's producers for besmirching American beef. Now, after a 6-week trial in Texas, she won, but I mean, just imagine having to go through all of that. Now, this wasn't a rule for her staff, but for who was paying them. The first year of her talk show, Oprah gave her staff members rolls of toilet paper. Now, in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Oprah said she put a special message in the rolls back in 1986. Now, this came in the wake of management refusing to give the staff raises. They said, direct quote, "Why do they need more money? They're a bunch of girls." I said, well, it's a bunch of girls who are now doing a national show. And they said they're in the same room with the same desks, in the same office, on the same street. They don't need any more money, recalled Oprah. So if management wasn't going to help, Oprah decided that she would find a way to reward her employees. So that first year, I gave everyone bonuses. I had a big dinner, and my idea of being creative was to have $10,000 rolled up into toilet paper rolls at the dinner as gifts because I couldn't get my management to pay them, she revealed. Then I went to management and said, if you don't pay them, I'm not going to work. By the next year, it was like, I'm not going to keep paying them. I shouldn't have to pay everybody out of my salary. That informed me that if I ever get my own business, I'm going to pay people well, she said. Now, it's actually really good that she did this and created a change, especially for the times. And Oprah also makes sure that all of her staff are acting appropriately. You see, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007. This was one of Oprah's passion products, as she founded it with $40 million of her own money, and she even hand-selected the 152 students who attended. But less than a year after the school opened, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny MacGobo of mistreating them. Virginia pleaded not guilty, and her trial was ongoing. She was arrested in November 2007 and released on bail, where she faced 14 different charges. "It has shaken me to my core," Oprah said, of returning to South Africa with a team of private detectives to investigate the allegations and personally speak with the girls. "This has been one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating, experiences in my life," she said. Now, in the end, Oprah fired all the matrons no matter what, and following the first trial, she was then sued by the headmistress of the school for defamation. She alleged that Oprah defamed her by implying she was covering up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled outside of court before the arranged trial, according to CNN. Well, that's all for our list of extreme rules Oprah demands from her staff. Now, which one do you think is the worst? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I'm your host Emily, and we'll see you next time. Peace.